Hello, good morning, Namaste, and Karnam. This video is especially for students and also for lovers and learners of the English language. Labang so lamar jans ke jasemet lo chalio sumarton pan. Tebon sida mama English ke chali ning ke hang atumta labang so lamar jan lang me ade longji. Today we'll be talking about the simple present tense. People are often confused with the intermediate learners because they have just come from the level of the beginners. They get confused with these two tenses, simple present tense and simple past tense. So our aim is to clarify and bring out the difference between these two tenses. So separately, we'll be learning about the simple present tense and then the simple past tense. So when we learn about them separately, we'll be able to know the difference between, we'll be able to distinguish these two tenses. So today we'll be learning about the simple present tense. Se kyong dung atum la putodang deng long B2 level long ke bang tum ma just so ka siksak do kok titi simple present tense la simple past tense la hiniang mo. Let's see, la so que chepre kupilo, ilitum chini pojong si ilitum isi charlie vet pulo the simple present tense pinabang charlie igna la so pi upothot ala marjan ngai ilitum simple past tense la charlie igna la lo pulo ilitum la so hinya tense sang bong ka chepre kupilo chini ikpo. So let's go to the slides. Okay, so here, let me add this. Simple present tense versus simple past tense. So which one is which? Okay, so today is part one, the first video, and we'll be talking about only the simple present tense. Pinyabang ke elitum simple present tense putagla chetanik luna. So simple tense, we start with the form. Okay? This is the form, affirmative. Now we know there are different kinds of sentences. Let's start with the affirmative sentences. Ilitum RJ penle pangcheng nang simple present tense RJ la pen labang so alamjir but a sentence affirmative sentence. So what are affirmative sentences? We know affirmative sentences mean yes sentences, statements or statements about facts or truths, general truths, fact. Those are affirmative sentences, statements. Okay. Let's say, lai hokalam ke jongdam lam jir to fancy affirmative sentences pulo. And this is the form, this is the structure. Okay, so let me use the pen. Here, subject, this is the subject doit po ki klema bang, but the base verb, so we base verb followed by the base verb, and we have to as or es depending on the subject. Jong sa subject bang le he, she, it la ke thoma pronouns la pen ko pene singular noun in the vet is si vet po bang si subject po te litum s mate es si bidanang po a verb thing a base verb thing s but es. So depending on the base verb, depending on the subject, if the subject is this pronouns he, she, it or some singular noun, then we have to add s or es depending on the base verb. And here I walk. Here I is the subject, and so we don't need s. Ila tum nang nelo s kya thema I pinake he, she, it pusi puan si litum s ani lapen singular noun puan si la so a pronoun I kenang ne simple present tense ne dam dam ne king pen dam dam po pan si pulo I walk. Then she walks here, but in the second sentence we have here la puthot alam jir long mangke she abang se subject about litum s anang kopol she walks pula. See alangli aking pen dam dam pulote she walks. Okay. Now, negative, sentence that has got not. Lamjer along, English lamjer along, not pudolo kali, chokche pula sona sentence upon sin negative sentence polo. That not dolo pula like a negative sentence law. So a sentence that has the word not are negative sentences. So here, this is the structure. RJ Bangla Sonla subject dulu pulote nangli not BG pulote lage do or this. We need to use this any of these two auxiliary verbs depending on the subject. Okay, so subject things ilitum do mate does enang po. Jong si he she it pulote ilitum does pang si enang po. Lapan singular noun pulote. Lapan are you they we. Lapan plural noun san pang ilitum do si enang po. Do siya po. Subject do does plus base verb then will be followed by the base verb. Let's look at the example. Example like nang I do not walk. I do not walk. Here I is the subject. Subject abang I pinakapot sa ilitum do siya nang kokpo. Are you Devi ipulatum la do siya nang kokpo. Do. I do not walk. Stop po the sentence long the subject bang he minang po say he, she, it, lapen singular noun, pula dilitum does po auxiliary verbs and po lasi not and he not walk po chok that elitum do but the does can vek nang po. We need to use do or does depending on the subject. He not walk. The sentence is wrong. He not walk. That's also wrong. We need to use do or does. So the correct sentence is I do not walk. He does not walk. Si do, does bitun wek nang pojong silitum not ng pulote. Not. He does not walk. Alang aking bendam de. Popan ke? Dam de pulote litum he does not walk. Okay, let's look at the question. Karju a sentence alam jirpan say question mate interrogative sentence below. So sentences that ask questions are interrogative sentences. So how do we start this sentence? Pasto pangcheng po. Karju pangcheng pulote. Simple present tense long lalo la. So hinial wang thulela litum la enang po. We need to use any of these two auxiliary verbs depending on the subject. Subject at teng pen ke subject then base verb. La so ke base verb. This is the structure. Do or does depending on the subject. If the subject is he, she, it, and singular noun, we need to start the question with does, followed by the base verb. If the subject is are you, they, we, and plural nouns, then we need to use do. Don't see subject abang he, she, it a pronouns mati singular noun polo itum does and ang kokpo does. Don't see subject bang I, you, they, we, lapan plural nouns polo ilitum do abang sa ang kokpo. Examples lang daming lang. Let's look at the example. Do you walk? Do you walk? Do you walk? So why we use do here? Because the subject is you. For I, you, they, we need to use this auxiliary verb do for asking question. Do you walk? But here, does. Why? Because he. For the pronouns he, she, it, and singular nouns, we need to use this auxiliary verb does. Does he walk? Okay? Does he walk? All right. Now, we use the present simple for habitual action. Just imagine la abe kai ke klem ver abe ke do kok ke klem abe a join abe fancy ke jong dam dam elitum present ani wang klem ver pini abe do kok la hai ke klem a fancy ilitum can present simple tense ke. No nong dabing nang Testament ke. The mainly for this, the simple present is primary tense used to describe habits or routine. For habits or routines, that means actions that happen regularly, often or always. Okay, often or always. So kai ki chaman ver or the bang chaman ver ki ong dung chaman ver lai a sai upon mat lai a be do kok a sai upon a be upon ki jong dam ji pan se le tum chesemet la bang so tense can simple present tense can. So these are the common term expressions itum lai lam thilo can chesemet. These are the words and phrases we use. Always, often, usually, sometimes, never, every day, every week, every month, on Mondays, in the morning, etc., etc. These are the common time expressions. Let's look at some example. I brush my teeth twice a day. So here, twice is a time expression here. Isi abe pansagi jong dam lo okay. I brush my teeth twice a day. Ni ani siang bong ni so pong ni jing ti ti. Opan supan isi abe pansagi jong dam lo la sila I brush. Here we use I. The subject is I, and so we use the base verb here brush without the s. Jong se litam I you Devi pupan de chetanik lo I you Devi pulote la hai subject lo pulote la pen plural nouns po litum s binangalo. The base verb for masichido kokpo, I brush my teeth twice a day. So because I is a subject here, we don't need s here added. Okay, I brush my teeth twice a day, and this sentence talks about a habit. Now, she always drinks coffee in the morning. It is something that a person does regularly. So always, she is a subject here. And because she's a subject, we need to put s here, s, okay, in drinks. This is the verb. So this is the base verb drink. S is added. S abang bidon kok po tema she abang the subject pot. She always drinks coffee in the morning. Then in the next here, they is a subject. They is a subject, and so we don't need any s. I, you, they, we. Lapen plural nouns along kilitum s enangalo. Alang litum adabang Saturday anibangta jogging tamber. Then they go jogging every Saturday. Then he eats. He never eats meat. Yeah, he is a subject, and never is the time phrase we have used here in the time expression, and eats. Why as here? PRTC as the cogler, because the subject is he. He never eat. As of that, put the chocolate that book grammatically, we need to use as. So it will be wrong if we don't use as here. He never eats meat. Okay. So these are the examples. And now these sentences tell us about what people regularly do. Munitum ki ongdung ko pilo ki klem. Lagi si abe mate si routine ki tingmeket. Ki klem nang yasai panse ki jongdam. Okay, they are used for this, for patterns or routines, not things happening at this. Non chiman bom panne ki jongdam le anivang chiman ver ki ongdung chiman ver. But the routine afrang pen tingmeket ki chiman ver anivang chiman ver. Lahai asai pan ki jongdam ye panse eletum labang so tense can. So these sentences tell us about what people regularly do, their patterns or routines, not things happening at this moment. Okay, things that happens regularly or every day. Okay, now let's go to the other and the other uses. Kapragihin ko sono ken labang abe kai chaman ver putak ningji pulitum elitum labang so tense nang po seta simple present tense kapragihin the enme kupilo. We can use a simple present tense to express general truths. Mudit tum kachining huralam ahok alam facts ahok alam lo So lam che thanji pulo te le tum la bang so tense la nang po. Non. The sun rises in the east. This is truth. Okay, this is fact. So here, the sun is the subject because the sun is the subject. Sun abang is subject posilitum na dak s na nang kok base verb ke rise, rises. We have to use rises in the east. Okay, so here the sun rises in the east. The sun is a singular noun. And that's why we have added S to the base verb rises. The sun rises in the east. Let's say, Arni nihang na tupensi, klang klang. Arni wangta klang alam laki klang arni ka arni wangta klang lo. Let's say, la dabang ki S to nang kokpo tema sun ke singular isivet. And we have only one sun, singular noun, and that's why we say the sun rises in the east. The sun rise. Puke chok that po. It will be wrong if we don't add S. Okay. Now for scheduled even, pini ke chimanja afrang pen tik mek at last on timetables, last on putak ningjeji pulute ilitum last on tense lang po. Simple present tense. So we need to use the simple present tense. For example, here the train leaves at 6 p.m. Agi ong dung ani wang pip sa ki ong dung kai keta 6 p.m. ajo bayi troga porsi tak pen dam dam. So here the train is the subject, and because of that we have here leaves s donang kopula that leaves ke bar at 6 p.m. So the train is the noun, the subject, and s here added to the base verb leaves at 6 p.m. Now for instructions or directions, for these case sentences that expresses instructions or expresses any sentence that expresses directions or instructions, we use the simple present. Pini bangpan ke pin khat mate ke toy lahas alamjir along ta ilitum simple present tense and ang kokpo lahai alamjir long ta. Let's say first you chop the onions. First, you is the subject here. You is the subject. You get subject posila da chop. So we don't need to. Okay, we're in imperative sentence, in sentences that give order or directions, we don't use s. Okay, so here you chop the onion. In any case, we here you chop the onions. Cái chân xí nào là học sinh kia là bằng lấy plug nội. Bộ phận sĩ bộ đám đó. First you chop the onion, left nội, plug nội, bộ phận sĩ bộ đám đó. And then for narration in sports or storytelling, when you're telling a story, pene tumo ke than no pula nang li la bang so tense lang tumo than ke than no hut la so tense lang mate pene commentary ke pene ke patu hut nang li lam nung dun bom lo pula te la bang so tense lo nang pa. So in narrations in sports or storytelling, we use this tense, simple present. Like Ronaldo passes the ball. So these are the other uses of simple present tense. So that's all about the simple present tense. The ancholot simple present tense. Mo putot lamajan litum simple past tense. So in the next video, we'll learn about the simple past tense. Thank you so much. Kurwang tu.